Good morning. Um, I'm excited for this conversation because being that it's Black History Month, which really doesn't mean anything to me because y'all know Sis stays ready with supporting Black businesses all the time. You are here, so I'm actually going to bring you on right now and we're going to get started. Let's see if I can. And I'm going to invite you. There we go. And we are going to start.
Hey,
Hey, love.
how are you? So make sure everything works. All right.
But you are horizontal.
Why am I? Oh, that's because my camera's horizontal. Hold on.
And while you do that, I'm gonna light my candle because we having a conversation and I want to create the atmosphere. So I have my
Oh,
little candle that I'm gonna light for self-love.
absolutely. Let me fix that
My candle for self-love.
right now.
Put that there. And my tea. You're glowing. How are you?
I'm good.
All right, and let me move mine back. There we go. So I am excited. This is a long time coming because my ass got sick and then it was all over the place. And so I thank you for being like, hey, sis, are we going to do this? So I appreciate that.
Like first, that I'm like, how are you doing? Are you feeling any better? Um, oh, just to start, I have a roommate, very broke roommate with four legs. I ever look down in his direction is because he's like right here. But I was like, let me make sure she's okay first. How are we gonna? No, let me talk. Let's find out. Are you well? Are you feeling well? Because a lot of times we separate from people and we find out the whole world is crashing on their end, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't even ask. We just like, so we gonna do this, and it's like, well, I've been sick, or my mom's been this, or this happens. Kind of like, let me find out if you're well. Once I find out if you're well, then we can continue our conversations. I just thought that conversation just had me on a high that day. So
It was. So I appreciate you for that because I was all over. But I'm so glad that you did reach out and we can have this conversation. You see, I got my little silk on
I love
right now, my little silk on. But it was such an. But first of all, can you just say who you are? Because we're about to start talking. I'm like, wait a minute.
I
How
know.
about this?
So Mara Thomas, I am creative. Sorry, I have all notifications popping up. People are like, "You live yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Uh, I am Chief Creative Officer of Je Mérite, which is French for I deserve, and it is a homegrown Black luxury sleepwear line based in New York. So we not only I would say we because it's I am a we kind of person, but I design and I do all the sourcing for, and I manufacture with another Black owned factory in New York. So we don't usually have things manufactured locally or
Mm-hmm.
domestically in the United States, but I made a point to support a lot of the folks that I worked with in the New York fashion industry. And unfortunately, they weren't doing so great during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, instead of me just making samples with you, we're going to do the whole thing. We're going to do the entire process. One, because they get paid $15 an hour, and that matters to me. They get health insurance, and that matters to me. And God knows what's going on in other countries. So I made a point to this is going to be my business plan all the way through, supporting, my local community. My tech designer is in, the Bronx with me. I'm a Bronx girl, if you didn't know. Um, everyone is just local. All the resources that I've used are based in New York City. Yeah, so it's been a totally dope experience. But this brand is brand new, right? So I started in 2020. It's always been kind of something that I wanted to do. I've worked in production, product development. If anyone knows what that is, you're the right hand of design. Worked in that for 20 years at this point. And I always wanted to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I I received some really great pushes from designers that I had worked with to start my own thing. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Who made all of my designs better? You can make your own. But so during the quarantine, I sat down. I actually moved it off in July, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? By 2020, I said, I'm going to do something for myself. And if it becomes 3 samples that I wear around the house, cool. If it becomes a whole business, even better. But during the quarantine and self-discovery was what we talked about.
Yes.
I found that, I also run a blog called Capsule Wardrobe for Black Girls, and it's about maximalism capsule wardrobe, which you don't talk about, which you can have color, you can have prints, you can have a multitude of formulas with your outfits. But you can always go back to a capsule, go back to a color palette, that sort of thing. So it's taking those principles, but you don't have to minimalize your life, because Black women don't do it with minimalization. We just don't, right?
Yeah.
So I was kind of like going through my wardrobe and realizing, oh, I don't have sleepwear. I have a lot of lingerie. My partner, not for me. If that person isn't around, I'm not wearing it. But I don't actually have anything for me to relax, to feel beautiful in, to lounge around the house, something really soft and sensual for myself. And I was quarantining solo, my partner in different states. So I was like, then I need something. And I'm looking,
Yes.
I go online, like we all do. And we first do, like, Alicia, we go first Black owned, always, right?
Always.
I don't see it. Or if I see it, it's not silk. If I see it, it's made in some far off place we can't even find. We can't find the source of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me find, okay, women owned. Okay, what's out there? And what I was finding was these great brands, but a lot of them were really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about Perla, we talk about Oseno, and for those prices, they're still made in China. For those prices, a lot of it's still polyester, right? So I said, okay, let me be honest with people. Where can I get some raw silk? Where can I? Oh, you need a pattern maker? Let me go on my LinkedIn. Okay, hey, you doing freelance pattern making? Like, what's going on? You do? Yeah, I'll come over in the morning. Boom. Like, we do our fittings, and I'm realizing, and they're like, this is really cute stuff. You should sell it.
Yes.
And
I love that you had that around. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no. Go ahead. I've been talking.
I was going to say, I love what you said about like the village that you created was so like, I want you to do this. You need to do this, and I need you to do this. I love that you had that from everyone, from the designers that you worked with to the pattern makers to being able to have the sustainability of saying, I know they make $15 an hour. I want them to make $15 an hour, so I'm going to use your company to get this done. How important was that for you?
It was extremely important because I'm on the production end, and a lot of folks don't really visit their factories and work with the actual people that are making this stuff. My
Mm-hmm.
mother had making this, right? So I'm always kind of going to the factory. I'm doing the audits in the factory. I'm making sure that they have, the right hours and all of that stuff. So that was always my bread and butter. If I was going to do something for myself, it was definitely going to be with a factory that checked those boxes. And they, honestly, I'm going to say this, it's very hard to find. It's very hard, especially when you need to be at a certain price point. So
Yeah.
I myself, my customers are probably going to hate me in the beginning, but I got to pay my people. So we're selling the same items I sell for $50. I pay my people $50 to make it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Each one. Not overall.
But each one.
Right? So it's kind of like, that matters to me. When, C-19 hit the city big and bad, those folks were able to take sick leave because they have money to pay them, right?
Mm.
they have health insurance, they can go to the doctor and find out if it's the flu or if it's T19, right? And that mattered to me. Because when I called them, like, so since it's going to be done, they were like, review is going to be done. And that matters. A lot you call them Garmento folks, usually like, you know, European men, and they're like, yeah. They're always going to push you aside for the bigger brands, for the names, right? Every time I called this woman, I don't want to give all my sources, so I'm not going to say her name, but every time I called this woman, she was like, whatever you need. On this date, we're going to be done by that date. You know, I went to for my 40th birthday. Hey, 40. And I was like,
swear, every time I talk to Black women, does nobody look like they?
Listen, we age finally. We get vintage. We get refined as we get older. So, and she was like, what do you need for the trip? Like, do you need samples? Do you need your samples done for the trip? And I said, yeah. She said, the day before you leave, come pick them up. No problem. So I feel like that part of a community is also really important when you're doing things on your own, especially me, like you, who, I mean, I love your brand because it's something I would love for a patron of mine to wear my garments to do their boudoir shoot. Because like that, and especially because you do shoots mainly for the person, right? They're not for a partner or for somebody. It's like, get in touch with your softness and your femininity, however that actually manifests itself. That's what you do. And I was like, I literally make my clothing with that in mind. Right.
I remember we had that conversation too about just the fabrics. Because I remember you said, you know, it's not polyester, it's silk, it's raw silk. And I'm like, yes. Like there's a difference in how you feel when you have something on that caresses your body and is not cheap. Like it's just not cheap.
And it's not going to fall apart. I mean, I wear them all the time. I'm wearing one of my pieces right now. I've actually washed her 4 times, and it just got softer, which is crazy. And
So good.
Things that we wear they're not always soft, right? They're not all there. They have the harness, they have the straps, they have the lace, and you offer me as soon as possible. Like we're not even trying to rush to the end game. I just want this thing off me. You like it so much, here it is. I want it off. This is something.
Wait, you know what's funny that you just said that, because that just happened to me this weekend, right? Because I was like, I'm about to put this on, and I was like, all right, that's cute, right? You liked it? It's cute. Okay. And then I walked away and took that shit right off and put my sweats back on. And he was like, that was like 5. I was like, it wasn't even 5 minutes. That was like 2 seconds. I just want you to see it, and then I'm moving on.
Soak it in, and we're done. And
yeah, we're done.
Right? And I was like, what can I make that's equally essential? Right? Because sometimes you want to put something on. Like we're doing a lot of video dates now because, you know, the world is different, right? So it's like, be a little, but you don't want to be too upfront. So you don't want to wear lingerie, but you want to wear a little something. And then I also made sure that because they are silk, and I make sure I line my gowns and my chemises, so you wear them outside. You know, I'm wearing this outfit today, going doing errands, right? So I have my little cami, the Lola cami, and I have my camo jacket, Black owned, also, you know, all day, right? And I'm ripping and running, you know, sourcing buttons and whatnot this morning. So I feel like that's also something that is not always done. I'm looking at things I have in my closet. They're not all lined. You can't wear them outside. You can't make them versatile in your wardrobe, which they need to be. You know, I've had customers of mine, which I call my muses, tell me that they've worn the gown on a date. Tell me that they've worn the wrap robe as a dress. So, you know, it just makes me happy that, one, I can do something that like they feel sexy in, period. Sexy for this partner for that occasion, but sexy, right? And then it feels good. I know that it's well made. We're doing French seaming, we're doing hand hems. Like, I know that it's going to last you. And I also know that I didn't, charge you $1 million for it. So it also makes me feel good. I want it to be accessible to more folks. So it's just, it's a labor of love at this point. And I love the reception I'm getting lately, because it's like it's hitting the people that I want it to hit, and I feel like that's even more important to me than having it sell out. I want the experiences. I want it to hit the women and the femmes that I want it to hit. Right. I want when they this is my thing. Oh, you're going to watch Super Bowl next? And put on my thing, put on my candles, put on my music, put my TV, with my tea, and they're like, "Oh, you put on that to lay down?" It's my
And
day.
keep it moving.
It's my day. It's my moment. Thank you.
I love that you said you want it to be an experience, because there are a lot of things that you can wear out, but like you said, it's not lined. You have to put pieces together. You have to layer everything just to go out. And I know for Black women, excuse me, when we create things, when we go out, like, it's an event. It is what it is. And that creative space that you have, how did you decide on creating something that is like, okay, this is a moment. This is something where you have sensuality in mind. What's your process for coming up with the designs?
Well, what you saw, like my Instagram from way back when, I did a lot of research in like old Black Hollywood. A lot of the items that they wore to sleep. So we're talking about Diane Carroll. We're talking about Eartha Kitt. A lot of the items that they wore, and also on photo shoots, were really soft, sensual pieces, but they were mature. They didn't have, the cutouts that we see now. And I love all that too. Don't get me wrong, but I want something versatile. And when I look at those pieces, that looks like you can wear it to a ball, and you can also wear it in your home. And if someone comes over and drops by, you can throw that on and feel comfortable. So that was kind of my background. But then also, I wanted it for women like me, right? So women that work really hard during the day, and they don't have a lot of time. They don't have a whole lot of money, but they have certain days, have 30 minutes, an hour, 15 even, that's going to be their time to put on their candle. And I'm like, what does she wear for those minutes? And I think about what my mom used to wear. She used to have like this one really, really beautiful pajama that she used to, and it was the one that she had that was expensive and really nicely made. And she would take that out, and she would take out like, a lotion that she bought and she was holding and waiting. And she would lather her skin up, and she would put on Sade, and we would all be hushed. Give mom, and she'd be right back to you. And she would put that, and I would just sit there and watch her just have a moment. And it was like, I want women to have a moment of peace. And sometimes you need a higher package, including clothing. At that moment. And you may have everything else. You may have this spot in my room, my reading chair. This is where I sit down. I have my candles, again, Black owned, right? I have my whiskey, again, Black owned, right? I have my music. And I was like, so what do I wear in that moment? I can't just wear my t-shirt. And I don't want to wear that lingerie, because all those straps and lace and things itching me. I don't want that. I can wear this, right? If someone calls me on Facebook, I'm not gonna have to run and cover it up, because it has just enough décolletage, right? Just enough skin, but it's not something that I'm gonna be like, oh, I need to cover up, because no, they're gonna, oh, you have a tank top. Yeah, it's a tank top, also a gown, also, a thing.
everything in between.
So, you know,
I love that stuff.
yeah.
I love, and I think that's one of the things that we spoke about the first time is, I'm going to move into when we were talking about like Black women and femininity,
Mm.
and what that, how your company represents what that can be for Black women, especially in the luxury space. How we present as not being, I think you said, and I was like, yes, I agree. Because I had my notes, you know, I'm always writing notes. So we talked about the strength that Black women have, and the strong Black woman trope that they give us, that we also give ourselves. And so with your company, as you're talking about your mom, which was a beautiful story, by the way, how is that, how are you putting that into your customer to say, you know, this is what this is? Like, we're not strong Black women. That's a part of it, but not everything that we are.
Right. So I know we talked about this in length. You know, I see myself more like a rose, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we have soft petals, but we have thorns. Right? And when I need to use my thorns, I will. And I'm gonna be that strong woman. But that is not my identity. And I feel like as a part of survival, a lot of Black women have taken it as our identity. And it's so hard. And it was hard for me. This is the personal journey. It was hard for me to reconnect to the soft side. Once I've had the strong side be that identity for so long, because I had to. But it was hard to let that go. And we have
Mm-hmm.
femininity coaches and talks about that. And honestly, I feel no one can really coach you into your femininity but you. Because it's individual to each person, to each femme. It's not even individual to each woman because men have, and that is a beautiful thing, right? So it's really like what, and we all have these moments, right? What smells make you feel soft?
Mm-hmm.
Fabrics make you feel soft? What sounds, what sights make you feel soft? Some women, you know, it's going up, you know, the mountains and sitting in nature that makes them feel soft because it's a hush that goes over them. Some folks it's the beach, right? Some folks it's
Mm-hmm.
and doing things that are traditionally feminine but makes them feel this overwhelming, right? And for me, it's like, how do I not suppress this strong side of me, but compartmentalize it so that it comes out when it's necessary? But then I also am able to have this moment of softness for myself. And once I have it for myself, I'm able to have that with others.
So how did you do that? How did you decide on to put, because I do that with people.
Mm.
Like for me, it's easy to put people into compartments and things into compartments. Then I take it out and I do it and I work, like it's easy. And because of what I do with boudoir, I tap into my femininity when I'm shooting, but that's because I have to do that because it makes sense for the person I'm helping, and I'm coaching them through. I need you to feel your body, feel your spirit, understand who you are in your womanhood, your Black womanhood, and then help them to push that out and not feel judgment around it. So for you, how do you feel like you did that in order to bring that along with your designs? How do you feel like you pushed that out of you or out of yourself? Or was it a hard process to do that?
It was a very hard process. But it took time, and I also learned that nothing is going to be done in your time. It's always going to be done in the goddess's time, right? It's always going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So be patient with yourself. And the more I was patient, the more I could carve out time just devoted to myself. So I did do a lot of research because I'm a researcher. And there's one thing I found that really helps. And it's a small thing, but
Mm-hmm.
I started taking my night showers by candlelight.
Mm. I remember you said that.
And it was such a small thing that I have to do it, you know, every day anyway. And it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, however long your showers are. But having that moment and setting a mood there and having your mind wander, getting into that space, because not every woman, man, child, no one has like time to run a bubble bath and do the whole, but you have time to turn off that light, put that candle on,
Mm-hmm.
and do something you normally do, right? For however long, and just get like that moment of peace. And then you like, how can I expand this moment of peace into other things? And then I started changing my home and making it softer and just quieter in a way, taking all like the loud colors, taking all that stuff out. I started putting certain things in certain places. Like I don't watch television in my bed anymore, in my bedroom. It is now a real boudoir. It is now a place of rest and relaxation, right? So the most I have in there, is music, books, puzzles, that sort of thing. But there's no work in there, right? There's no news in there. Like that cuts off at a certain time. When I wake up in the morning, there's a routine, there's a meditation, there's some tea drinking, there's just a moment, there's watering my plants. It's embracing all of those small little things, joy and soften you out so that you can go and face everything else that you have to do that day in the world. And I feel like when you count the 17 things you have to do in the day, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But as long as you know that moment of peace still helps kind of get you closer to where you want to be in terms of softening, right? So I know I have things to do today, right? But it also took a minute in the morning. I'm going to take a minute in the evening. So I'm literally working towards my night shower like every day.
I love that.
I'm all this stuff, but I know around 11:30 I get to slow down and I get to like put on some new R&B, right? Whatever I find, and maybe Una today, maybe I'm gonna have 15 minutes just mellow out.
Just
and
chill out.
my sleep has been elite because of that.
Mm.
And that's also something that women find. Oh my God, we cannot rest. We cannot. And
Don't get me started.
Like having that routine of like, we're everything's coming down. That we're not going to go on Twitter and get all riled up and emotional. We're going to tone everything down before we go to bed. So when we go to bed, it's all about us. It's all introspection. And
I love that. That's beautiful. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And do it in a positive way. Because also, like some, I had this issue when I first started like meditating and doing that, where I was introspective and I was very negative. I was very like, okay, you needed to do these 5 things, you only did 3. That is not introspection. That is not it. It's about like, you did things today. And whatever else you didn't do wasn't meant to be done today. Right? And that, like, just sit in that. And okay, I was supposed to call this person and I didn't get to call them. I'll make sure I do tomorrow. And it's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's going. And, I'm supposed to do that for my job. And you know what? They're going to live. Because today, tomorrow, I'm not there anymore. They're going to hire somebody else. So I'm not keeping that in my head when I go to bed either. So it took a long time. And I feel like, as all of the things that happened during 2020 and 2021, that even starting this business, which has been a lot of work, and we don't talk about the work. We talk about, oh, you started a brand. I was like, you don't know the sleepless nights. You don't know when people are calling me and they're like, and I'm like, what are you doing? Sourcing packaging. What do you mean sourcing packaging? You can't just like buy it. I have to like source
You
it.
have to
Call the and they're going to send you a sample and you want this kind of logo on your box. I was like, yeah, it takes a really long time. And they're like, what are you? I was like, I'm washing my stuff to see if it washes in a machine and comes out okay. Because somebody may make that mistake and I need to know. Because they may hit me.
Yep. People don't, I mean, it takes a lot to run a business outside of what people see on social media. Like it really takes, especially if you want to be in the luxurious space.
Yeah.
It takes a lot because you want your business is a representation of you, but also being a Black owned business sometimes, unfortunately, puts another spotlight on you in a way that our white counterparts or whomever, Asian counterparts, don't get that. Because when you make a mistake, it's like, oh, that's why I don't work with Black businesses because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't work with people, certain persons, because of their business, not everybody that's Black because of their business. And especially in these luxury spaces, I think that people forget that we are people. We want to give you the best of what we have, but we are people who have just come through and are still going through a massive, I don't even know what to call this now because this is just ridiculous. Like even that space where people are trying to get out of being depressed, being in a space, and you really can't be, your best version of yourself if, like you said, when you are in your space, you see everything happening around you, especially where you are, where people are getting sick and people are dying and family members are sick. Shit, even yourself may be sick and you're trying to give the best customer service. I think that sometimes people forget that. Like they forget that we are people and you can send us a message and we'll get back to you. But I think social media has forced people to think about like, oh, you're supposed to get back to me in 12 hours. You're supposed to get back to me in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not realistic right now.
And I feel like that's what's the good and bad about social media. So, I use myself and one of my best friends in the shoot because I want them to see who it's made for and who it's made by.
Yeah.
I was very against it at first. I was like, I'm not trying to put my face out there. But then I realized like being to see me at this age in this body with this natural hair, right? Because in a lot of the luxury spaces, we don't exist.
Mm-mm.
We buy a lot of it, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
And on our blogs, we see us in it. But we don't see it in a lot of their advertisements. We don't, and I'm not saying like they don't have like Black women or women of color, but there's a certain archetype that they choose. And I remember the Vogue, maybe Vogue, I'm not sure, but you have like very dark skinned women, even like darker in their skin, and there was this whole controversy. And it's like, even though like I saw that and I was like, oh, that's amazing, it's beautiful, and then I had to take a step back. I said, oh, are they fetishizing us again? And they were. So it's kind of, no, I want them to be a girl born in, the 80s, from Brooklyn, raised in the Bronx, in luxury goods. Right?
I love that. I love that so much.
Money, right? Works every day hard for her money. Ain't a damn thing given to her. Educated, strong but soft, in luxury. Because that's the majority of us, right? The majority of us don't have, suitors that are flying us here and there and to and fro. And I was like, I want my muses to know that they fit here. You belong here. You may not belong. You may buy that stuff, but you know that when you're on, does it feel like a costume? Because mine sure does. Does it feel like I'm putting on? Because mine sure does. But when you put this on, I'm making it for you, right? I'm making it with you in mind. There's Black women all over my home. My girlfriends will tell you, there's Black women all over my home. Even behind me, you see there's a painting of a Black woman like that. They're all over. And I look up and I'm reminded, like, who are you making this for?
I think that's so important though. That's important. Like when you said your everything that you do is centered around Black women, and I think that within that space, because when we support our own, we support our own, and we will go hard for our own if we feel like they are in support of us. And I find that, especially like you said, in luxury spaces, we create a lot of the trends that are in luxury spaces because we exist. Like I'm thinking about the early 80s, early 90s with the long nails and the hair and the eyes and the eyebrows and things, and how those things are popular again. And those were the things, and the rings on all the fingers, and those were the things that we were villainized for. Like, oh, that's ghetto. And now these are the things that you are seeing on popular celebrities, influencers in the media. And we created those things. Like we created those spaces, those places that are now being brought back as if we had no hand in them. So I salute you for saying, no, I'm creating this, because it's hard to say this is from a Black woman and it's for a Black woman, and you're going to have to deal with it because that's just what it is. It really is. Yes, we are the prototype. It's very hard to do that and to step out in that space because people sometimes don't get it. They don't get when you say this is for Black girls. This
And
is for Black women.
it's like a challenge, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and you're making this for Black women, so no one else can buy it. And it's like, no. I've worked for Coach. I've worked for Ralph Lauren. I've worked for J. Crew. I've worked for Kate Spade. I've worked for a lot of these brands. I still do work with the brands. And there is a customer in mind. They are creating it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us can wear it because we're getting a little piece of that. So when, Kate Spade making her items for, and, Upper East Side, Upper West Side, woman of a certain age, in her mind, that person doesn't look like me.
Hell no.
It doesn't.
Mm-mm.
When you look at all inspiration, it's the, Audrey Hepburns, it's all of those types. And that's okay, because I deal with them too. So why is my, inspiration being a Lena Horne, being a Diane Carroll, being a Josephine Baker, being an Eartha Kitt, seen as bad? Because I want you to. If you're a person of color, if you're a white person, if you are, Aboriginal, Indigenous, Latino, whatever you are, able to look at these figures that I'm inspired by, that inspired this line, and be inspired. And that's changing that narrative, changing that dichotomy to say like, oh wait, so I belong here too. Yeah. Just like I had to change that dichotomy in my head to buy Kate Spade, to buy Givenchy, to buy Chloe, to buy all of those things. You can change that mindset and say like, oh, I love mahogany. And I love that she wore that gorgeous soft thing. And oh, this is inspired by, oh, let me buy that.
Mm-hmm.
Problem. When to your point, a lot of the things that are out there that are created came from us. So why not get luxury from us too? Why not, why is that a problem? Oh, because you only like get from us after it's been saturated, after it's taken, after it has a white name on it, and preferably European sounding. And then you'll be able to just and buy it and purchase it and wear it. And it's like, no, you can buy it straight away. Straight.
I am appreciative of you just saying yes. Like I said, checking in, saying, "Oh, we're going to do this," because I know you have a busy schedule. I know for a fact. But I want to just say thank you again. And to wrap this up, what is, before I ask you to give everybody where they can follow you, where they can buy, and all of the stuff, what are some things that you just want Black women to know about your brand?
I want them to know that I named this brand I Deserve as a declaration. right? So in the exploration of, you know, building and growing and, you know, opening and launching and all of that, it comes back to the I, and it comes back to you. It's not about me, not about what I'm doing. When you buy something and you put it into your wardrobe, it is an I deserve. I want you to put it on and I want you to look in the mirror and say, I deserve this. And not because of anything. Anything that you can name. I because I am. Because I am. And that's it. Full stop, period. Like, I deserve it because I'm here. And we've been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's enough.
I'm just writing what you said down because I am here. And we have been through a lot.
We have been through a lot. And every woman has a story. Every has a story. Black person has a story. Every person of color has a story. Every woman has a story. And we've been through a lot. And sometimes when you don't even like take a minute to reflect that, you're like, oh damn, I did that. You know, I had a person actually come to me for advice in production and doing stuff. And I'm like, I don't know nothing. They were like, you don't know nothing. And they rattled everything I had done. I was like, oh snap. Like I am that person that you come to for this question. Right?
Yes.
Don't give ourselves credit. This woman that I follow on Twitter, and we you know, we talk all the time, and she had a great achievement. And I was like, sis, take your victory lap. A long one. And she was like, I'm gonna cry because I literally have not done that yet. I got the document.
I'm writing that one down. I love that. Take your victory lap.
You know, she's like, I got the document. I like went straight on to like applying for jobs. And I'm like, take them and take your victory lap. Like that matters. They do that in sports. And that matters. Like run around and get all the praise. Hear the cheer. Even if it's just you cheering you on, like feel it, soak it in. When they you know, at concerts and they do the bow, it's for a reason, and we don't do life. And yeah, I did that. Like I don't have to wait till somebody says like, yeah, I did it. If you were trying to make your mama's grits for 17, you know, years and you finally made it and you finally got that taste right, take a victory lap. Like take it, soak it in, like it matters. And I feel like we just forget because we're givers. You're supposed to be like we champion our friends, we champion our kids, we champion our, you know, our partners. But it's like, no, I did that today. I did it. Me. Right? Oh, I've been studying for this so long and I did it because I wanted to do it. I did it. And I had tons of help and tons of support. But you know what? There's a lot of people with tons of stuff, tons of support, and they don't do it. But you know what I did?
Mm-hmm.
So I want people to really like, this is a journey. This is not a brand. We're going on a journey.
Girl, that is just, how can people get in touch with you? What do you have going on? Like, just give us all the deets.
So you can get in touch with me at Shop Jimmerit on Instagram, Shop Jimmerit on Twitter. You can get in touch with me on Twitter also, and my personal at Mara Sharice. My personal on Instagram is private because I got a lot of personal pictures of children on there and all that stuff, so I don't, you know, expose.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also contact me at shop@jimmerit.com, which is my email. Jimmerit.com, jimmerit.nyc is where you can, you know, purchase everything. And I would love to hear from as many people as possible. Like I love hearing feedback. You know, feedback is what led me to pick the designs that I picked because there's only 4 designs right now. Feedback led me to where I'm going in the future, which is expanding sizes. Right now we're only in black because I am still a New Yorker at the end of the day. Hear my I know black looks good on everyone, but I also heard from my muses. We're gonna bring some cranberries in. We're gonna bring some emeralds. going to bring some sapphires in. They're coming. I'm working on them. I am self, funded. So I got to wait. I got to wait my 2 weeks to get that money to support it, everything. But yeah, we're growing. We're growing. We're changing. So I love hearing feedback. I actually just heard from Amuse today about, creating a size chart. Because I don't have a size chart right now. And I didn't think about it. No, they need to know it fits 12, 14, because some extra larges fit 16, right? So they need to know that that's coming, but I want them to buy it and know that it's going to fit them, right? So, we're in this together. Like, I have a lot of background in making stuff, but this is my first business. This is my baby. And I'm making it for y'all, right? So however it can make you feel good, like that, and please leave comments, and please leave suggestions, and please leave reviews on the website. It makes me so good when I see that. Like, it makes me feel so good when I see people really doing what I envisioned in what I created. Like, it makes entire day. Like, I saw one of my muses on vacation in her robe. It was too much for me. I was like, I gotta take a minute. One of my muses went on her yoga retreat in the cami set. I was like, you're killing me. You're killing me. One of my muses going on a night with my husband. I'm gonna wear this gown. Like, listen, yeah.
You gotta see. I gotta get mine for my trip next week. Because for real. Because I just love it. As I said, I thank you so much, because I always want to support us, especially when we're making things that are aligned with my brand, because that's what I'm about. I need y'all to do this. Costa Rica looking like a snack. You better go.
Oh, and right now we are 50% off through the 14th. So you're not going to see it when you click, but when it's in your cart, you're going to see that 50% off right off the top. So you don't have to put any codes in. You don't have to put any, I got to remember. No, you don't have to wait for an email from me. It's right off the top. So I literally have my file here. I pack it up myself. I send it out to you the next day. I want to make sure that you need, like 2 days before Christmas, someone orders something. I was like, you're going to get it by Christmas, because I'm going to make sure you get it by Christmas. Because I get it. I know how important it is. And it was somebody, I was like, I know how important it is. You're going to get it.
Make sure I put that in as well, in the notes for this. But I thank you. I'm in awe that you've created this. I think it's amazing. I cannot wait to see everything else that you have coming up, because I know it's going to expand. Like,
I have some. I have to put them like, okay, what are you going to do next? I was like, size expansion is number one. That's number one, right? And then with that, I'm going to do some more styles. I got to get some more colors in. I get some more prints. But again, I got patient with myself.
Yes.
Overblow. And I also don't want to get the eyes of certain other companies to start to compete with me.
Mm-hmm.
It for specific music. I'm looking for specific things. I have zero like intention of growing and selling and being off to do my next thing. A project. Right? So when time comes, it's going to be a conversation with y'all. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm doing this because, I've been in this 20 years. I've seen brands come in, especially Black brands, especially women-owned, come in and pop and get bought out, or get their designs stolen. We see it every day on the internet, and it's like, I'm the one saying, oh, you like that? This is the actual brand that made it. You can buy it from them. I'm that person. So
I see it so often, especially with the Fashion Novas and Forever 21s. Like, I see it constantly. constantly, and it's crazy, especially for the Black brands, the smaller brands. I see it a lot.
It happens a lot. So, I'm hyper focused on us, hyper focused on Black women. And it is not like that. My hyper focus being on us means that, all types of shades and colors and ethnicities and nationalities that shouldn't be buying Gucci. Right? Because when I buy Gucci, I'm buying what? I don't know
Oops, hold on. The audio went out a little bit. Say that again.
I feel like I'm getting some weird feedback on my end. That was probably me. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm in the Bronx, y'all. That's my little. That's what she do. She works fine most of the time. She's struggling. But I really, really appreciate this, and I'm gonna make a point to come down there and do my photo shoot.
Listen. I'm ready. You know, it's just like, hey, what you doing? Just let me know.
I need it, and I need to print it. I'm gonna put it in front of my bed so when I wake up in the morning, I see me. I need it.
I love that. Like I said, I appreciate you. I can't wait. Like, just let me know. And I appreciate you just putting yourself out there, because the pandemic has been crazy, but you made something beautiful out of it. So I thank you for that from us, all the Black women that's standing around me. I thank you for that.
And ladies, if you want to do it, just start with the domain. Start with your name. Like, have fun creating your label, have fun creating your logo. If you want to do something, do it, because there's a customer for you. Like I waited so long to start doing my own thing, and I've seen so many of my mentors leave this world without doing it. Do it. It's worth it. Even if you only make it for your friends, it's worth it. Trust me. Like,
You got it.
All you need is right there.
Yes. That was a good note to end on too. So I thank you, love.
Thank you. I love talking to you this whole day, but I gotta go.
And
I gotta go make some money so I can make some more product for y'all. Like,
yes. Well, you be safe out there, because people's acting the fool, okay, out here. Yeah. But be safe, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to bless us.
Always. And I do, whether or not you are able to purchase right now, please sign up. I want to know that you're out there. I want to know who you are, because I do send emails out asking questions, and I go to you first. I go to my users first and say, like, okay, I'm working on this. What should I do? I'm working on that. What should I do? I also fit on real people. So
that's important.
I may pop up and be like, so who's the size this? Because I need to send you something. I need to know that it fits. Everything that's fit was fit on myself and my best friends. So,
I love that. Thank you.
All right. So good talking to you.
You too.
Be well.
You too, love. Goodbye. And thank you all for watching. I appreciate that. This will be saved, so you can go and you can watch it again. If I see somebody that just joined us, you can watch it later. Because it's going to be live for you to watch. So thank you so much. And I'll put the information. I have a lot of notes, so I'm going to put the notes into the caption so people can see exactly what we spoke about, and they can follow you, purchase from you, and all that in between. Thank you so much.
Whatever you need. Feel
Same
free.
here, love. All right. Have a good night. Good night. I keep saying good night, like, because I'm usually doing this at night.
I know. Have a great rest of the day.
You too, love.
Okay, bye.